Well, hello there, my friend. Welcome to the fire. Ever had that clutch moment in a game when you're fighting against a BBEG and all hope seems lost? But at the very final moment, someone makes a move that saves the day. Well, we got a story about that sort of moment right here. The deck of many things saved my party from a TPK, r/D&D stories, posted by the Silent Observer. I DM for a party that is currently level 25 and filled to the brim with crazy abilities, homebrew and non-homebrew. It's a blast to play and has been going for a good 2 years now, but it nearly came to an end yesterday. For a brief context as to what the party is facing at the moment, we are playing in Eberron. But the long-dead House Vol has returned, and recently their leader, a 35,000-year-old time-traveling being called Lady Vol, decided that wiping out all life on the planet was a cool and hip thing to do. Despite the party's resident Lord of War equipping Eberron with modern machinery, the entire planet remains completely outmatched by Vol's future tech. The party just recently got done fighting the Gun God, a pyramid-shaped mobile fortress a mile wide and crammed to the brim with gun ports, with an army of Warforged automatons and the spell Proctive's Move Mountain in an effort to stop it from obliterating half the continent. They succeeded, and on the inside of the fortress, they had a boss fight with an android who was pretty much Virgil from Devil May Cry. The fight wore down the party and almost killed a couple of them, but after accidentally summoning a avatar of Tiamat with a polymorph spell, they managed to turn the tide and force Virgil to retreat. After Virgil warned the party to save their strength for Vol, he destroyed the main body of the Gun God and used Gate to get out of there. The party used this small break to investigate the room and greet the new party member, a barbarian artificer who had erupted from the ground with the druid mid-fight. They got distracted by the Gun God's skull before deciding to head out. Before they could leave, however, they were greeted by Lady Vol's voice over the intercom. "Where do you think you're going?" Vol started to monologue, as villains do, about how she had suspected that a party of their caliber might rise to oppose her one day, and constructed the Gun God for that purpose. Once the adventurers are lured inside and defeat their opponent, the entire structure is sealed off in an interplanar level. No teleportation, no planar shifts, nothing. There was some back and forth between the party and Vol, but ultimately, Vol was content on letting the party rot inside their new prison unless they attempted to escape. Then the party pulled the 200 IQ move of, in the middle of the room, and out loud saying something to the effect of, "Well, we have an artificer now, we could just reverse engineer the technology and leave." Now, knowing the party had an artificer, Vol knew she couldn't just leave them be, and considering how much of a nuisance the party has been, she couldn't just let them live. So, a gate opened up in the center of the room and Vol herself stepped through. At this point, I expected the party to run, or at least to attempt to do something that would grant them a higher chance of survival. But sometimes, despite being faced with a magnificent-looking adamantite-clad BBEG of legendary power who could toss Chezzer, the party will channel Leroy Jenkins' energy anyways. If they were at full health, they might have put up some semi-balance of a fight, but instead their plan of get through the gate resulted in them getting tossed around like ragdolls. Vol wasn't even all out attacking them yet, just amused by their plan, which was my way of giving the party a single turn buffer to realize that Vol is quite simply too powerful to fight or even get past at their stage and condition. Many things were tried. The Warforged monk tried a stunning strike Vol, but realized he literally could not roll high enough to hit her. The artificer attempted to steal Vol's master-crafted adamantite chainmail dress before ducking into the gate, but got golf ball swatted by a umbrella. Even the plan of letting the female elf rogue, who was once an employee of Vol's, hug and attempt to plant a kiss on her mask failed, as the rogue had no levels in Bard and was grabbed with telekinesis, starting to be slowly ripped apart. The subsequent meme idea of canceling Vol on Twitter for being a homophobe also failed, as Vol was already going to destroy Twitter. Evidently, my party had lost their goddamned minds. The druid managed to push Vol back through the gate by running up and polymorphing into a gelatinous cube, and our warlock sorcerer managed to score an actual hit. But the free turn ended with everyone still well within striking distance. At this point, I knew what was going to happen to the party and could only pray that their one cumulative brain cell could get them out of this pickle. Vol ignited her artifact level, ultra greatsword sized laser sword and began erasing the druid's health from existence, immediately destroying his cube polymorph and reducing him to 0 with a legendary action. Our ranger ran up to heal the druid while their giant dog distracted Vol, but Vol simply put the dog to sleep. At this point, I knew that unless something drastic happened, we were heading into TPK territory. The rogue couldn't make the strength save required to get out of telekinesis short of a nat 20. Both the ranger and the druid were one tap away from death, not to mention right next to Vol. The artificer was in a decent position to support down party members, but wouldn't survive a targeted attack. The warlock sorcerer was getting screwed over by counterspells and divination magic, and to top it all off, the zealot barbarian was still passed out due to becoming Tiamat for a bit. It is at this point that the tables turned. The player who played the zealot barbarian had been gone from the session so far due to IRL stuff, but our sorcerer had been panicking so hard he had sent a text over to him saying, "We need you! We're fighting Vol!" Our barbarian dropped straight into the Discord call yelling, "What do you mean we're fighting Vol?" At this point, everything else had been shoved to the side and the barbarian stood up, confused and angry. I had him roll initiative and he rolled high enough to go his turn. He strode up to the druid who had received the deck of many things at the beginning of the game, pulled out the deck from the druid's many fanny packs, and with a general F this attitude started to flip through as many cards as he could. The first card was the Comet. Hilarious, but defeating Vol by himself wasn't an option in general, much less with 1 HP. The second card, however, was the Fates. For those who don't know, it reads the following: reality's fabric unravels and spins anew, allowing you to avoid or erase one event as if it never happened. You can use this card's magic as soon as you draw the card or at any other time before you die. End quote. This was the saving miracle we were all looking for. After a lengthy one-on-one discussion about how erasing Vol's creation would probably cause the entire campaign to cease to exist, the barbarian settled for erasing the moment from when he passed out to when he took out the card. Before he did so, however, he rushed Vol as the card was activating and attempted to take off her mask. He had always wondered exactly what was behind it and managed to roll high enough on his strength check to get it to shift, but couldn't get it off. Then everything reverted. I told the party that the barbarian had just reverted from being Tiamat, but was awake this time. He was the only one who remembered what had happened. The party quickly got distracted with everything they were doing beforehand, talking to the new artificer, looking at the skull, and then getting picked up by the barbarian in one big party ball and being dragged out the room towards the big open door they could have used the entire time. Of course, they once again hear Lady Bull's voice, "Where do you think you're going?" The monologue began again, but due to the barbarian's warnings, the party was acting way different. They were acting so strange that Bull had to do a double take and check the script. The druid casted transport via plants on the vines in the middle of the room in an attempt to evade the teleportation barriers of the structure. Since he had the Dark Six at his back and rolled high enough for a technical divine intervention, it managed to somewhat work. The party appeared outside of the gun god, which was now surrounded by hundreds of enemy Warforged Titans and Spelljammers, in place for if they ever decided to leave. In the moment of confusion, the sorcerer managed to teleport the party away, bringing their hard pass on a TPK to a close. TLDR, our party Leroy Jenkins their way into fighting the BBEG while underleveled and already hurt, but the barbarian wakes up and uses the deck of many things to become King Crimson and get the party out of there. Now that was a clutch save. I will say this though, I'm not too much of a fan of unwinnable to the death fights. At the very least, capture the party and toss them in a dungeon so that the story can continue. But at the very least, the barbarian here was able to save the day with the deck of many things. Huzzah! So, do you have a story where someone was able to save the day with some last-minute heroics? Well, I want to hear it. Sound off in the comments below. Be sure to hit that like and subscribe button if you want to see more content like this. And would you kindly follow the socials posted in the description below. As always, be good, be great, be awesome.